I'm trying again, by the way,
Okay,
so
great.
it's
I
possible.
see it.
It's possible we're alive. Who's to say? Or it could be a totally different link.
Now this looks nice. Okay. We're on.
Okay.
Welcome. I see this. I don't see the chat yet.
Yes, I don't see anyone in the chat.
I
so
just tried chatting to see if that.
I see you. I see you in this, but I don't see anybody else. So Jordan,
yeah.
I'm gonna link you to
Anyone
this.
in the
And I'm so
chat?
sorry.
I just tried chatting. So okay, I'm gonna pause.
I see you. I see you in there.
So I know.
This is incredible. Wow, I truly need medical attention.
Wait, so do you see Jordan, are you in the chat and there are people in a different chat?
So what's going on? And maybe everyone can hop in and give me some advice. What's going on is I make a Zoom event. I make a Zoom event, and part of that Zoom event is I enter a bunch of YouTube information, and that YouTube information is related to a YouTube event I create. So I can get all of those without it being live. So I'm linking that YouTube link to the Zoom. But every time I make every time I go live, it creates a new YouTube link that's unrelated to the thing I created. So I'm like, what's going on?
Let me see if anyone's in my.
I don't see anyone in this one. Jordan, did you send the link?
I did, yes.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Okay.
Okay, let me see.
Horrible.
Okay, so
Oh, and if you guys are watching the stream, just be sure to mute it. So we don't hear it double.
I paused, but good point about I could watch and mute.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, even better. Great.
Wow, there are 2 people here. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm gonna blast this out. I really hope people like seeing how vulnerable I am.
I think so. I think this is a real treat. You're getting a view into sort of behind the stage, like backstage.
Yeah, and maybe this is actually making a good case for us to have a producer.
That's kind of what this is. Yes, if you're in the comments and you're really frustrated, this could be actually an opportunity for you.
This might be an opportunity, which is the thing. Okay, hold on.
Oh, okay, Yanis is here. Hey, Yanis.
Yanis, thank you for thank you so much. Yanis.
Great.
I'd love to tell you that I know what I'm doing with tech, but it's clear that
Jason, everyone you know what else is kind of nice in quarantine? We don't get a lot done. We're kind of spinning in circles. We fought, we all kind of worked to get here, and now we accomplished the goal of just getting here. So that's something.
Alyssa, ain't that the freaking truth?
You know, we've done something today, and that is nice. So everyone can reward themselves a little bit.
Yes.
That's true.
Absolutely true. Guys, feel free to mingle with each other, talk about your favorite snacks while we just get stuff in order, resending out links. I mean, you know how it is.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes.
Well, yeah, we were actually just talking, if you're in the chat, about what I should eat tonight. So the kind of question on the table is Szechuan Impression, one of my favorite places, has a new place, Fire Belly. So I'm considering trying from there, but I also love Veggie Grill. Hey, Kim, this is the right link. You're in the right place. We made it. Isn't that wonderful? You can now relax. You can get out. Oh, Jason, Oreos are my favorite cookie. Oreos in China are not as good. Is that right? A different recipe. Well, I just recently got Glutinos. Oreos with no gluten. Excellent.
And you like them?
Loved them. Loved them.
Oh my God.
Okay, Yanis just offered to help, and I'm like, wow. This
Yanis,
is
Etsy Bravo. Look at that. That is wonderful. Wow.
Okay, and this is actually a lesson in community, everyone, and that's what this is all really about. And that's actually a perfect segue, I think, right? into whatever the hell we're doing here, which is Talk Chef, everyone. Welcome to Talk Chef. Okay. I'm one of your hosts, Reka.
Hi, I'm your other host. I'm Jordan.
And we have our wonderful guest who you have seen in viral freaking videos. She has the funniest Twitter out there, Alyssa Limperis.
Hello. It's so great to be here.
Okay, so Alyssa, thank you for being a guest and for watching season 1, episode 2 of Top Chef. Do you like cooking? What's your food story?
I loved watching this episode. I don't know. I like baking a lot. I like food a lot.
Yeah.
I wish I could say I was into cooking more, but I'm just not.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
What do you bake when you bake?
Yeah, well, so yeah, I'm sort of a vegan. I'm like a soft vegan though. Like if I have to throw an egg in something, it's okay. But I will say this. I love baking for the act of baking. I love the start, middle, and end of it all. I don't know if I even care too much about the end product. So I'll make anything. I'll make brownies, I'll make cookies. I just like that you kind of start and it's very nice. It's kind of like making a puzzle.
I do relate. I love the process of baking. Jordan, cover your ears. I love baking. This disgusts Jordan. She's going to throw up.
I absolutely hate baking.
I love everything about baking. I do enjoy eating it, but I do get what you mean, Alyssa, because I bake so much. Often, like I made these like blueberry drop biscuits last week that are vegan. And I ate some on the night of, and I ate some the next day. And then I was like, well, I want to bake something else. So I made a plum cobbler. And I was like, well, now I have plum cobbler and blueberry drop biscuits. I don't want to eat all of this. And now I want to bake something else. And I still have all this shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I get why like people have like Greek families like having a lot of kids. You know, I get why my mom loved when my boyfriend came over, because it's just like it's like there's more places for the food to go so that I can start cooking again.
Yes. More little like garbage holes kind
That's
of.
right. That's
compost heaps.
Compost heaps, yes. But then when it comes to like cooking or like savory food, I feel like if it's a vegan and gluten-free, I will eat any savory food. I'm obsessed with. Like Jordan, almost everything you post, I'm like, I want it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think you really hit we share similar taste buds, perhaps.
Yes.
That's gorgeous. I love that.
Absolutely love
yes.
That. So I need to know, how did you feel about this show? We watched season 1, episode 2, just for a refresher for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. This episode is very sexual, kind of iconically queer.
Yes.
And ultimately, very bad and in poor taste, I would say.
Yes.
Yes, it's very artificially for those things. Like with the exception of Tiffany mentioning her and Elizabeth Faulkner were in a queer chef magazine. There's a lot of like, wow, queer culture, West Hollywood kind of gawkery.
You know what I loved? When the woman from like New York who got voted off was like, someone was like, oh, strippers might be there. And she was like, well, then I'm going to have to leave.
I know. I was like, okay,
it was just like.
Alyssa, thank you for bringing that up, because when her name's Andrea, when she said that, I was like, because you're uncomfortable around strippers, or like it telegraphed as a joke, but it read also so dire and serious.
Totally. And just like, I love her. I think the idea that was her. And then also she was like, I chose the almond because it's good for endurance. Just like, she just couldn't have missed the sexual mark more.
Like, sex is a sport.
Sex is a sport. Sex is an activity.
If I have sex, I drink protein drinks afterwards, and I eat a sweet potato before.
You gotta eat a sweet potato. That's a complex carbohydrate. And she was like, yeah. They were like, I don't know why your treat wasn't very sexy. And she was like, I loved my dessert.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. And it was
I thought it had a ton of protein. I'm sorry, that's not what we're grading on.
It's not even. I disagree. I think it had excellent protein. I think you could run a marathon after.
Two people talking about completely different things. Michael Phelps said he loved it. He eats it before he swims.
And great for people with diabetes. This is great for people who are. It's like, what? This is not even. Yeah.
Some people are commenting in the chat of not everyone got to watch the episode, so just kind of to let people know what has happened. A lot of people are like, what was sexy about it? So
what a great question.
Yes, the Elimination Challenge, they go to a sex shop, a really famous sex shop in San Francisco, and they have to cook for a party that is like a sex, they make it seem like it's going to be like a sex bacchanal, and it is like more tame than like Christmas parties I've been to.
Yeah, I think it's literally like Elizabeth Faulkner was wearing a vest that had like a buckle, and like RuPaul was simply there, and other people had like latex or like patent leather clothes on. It was just like a kind of a fun night out is how I would phrase it.
Totally. Yeah, it is true. It's like, it's so crazy how much changes in like 10 years or however long since that was out. Cause you could tell it was probably such like a salacious thing back then, but now, we're like, that is like, if that episode happened now, I feel like everyone would have been serving the food off of their tits. You know what I mean? Or like 100%. They would have had like cookies like on their, like, it's like,
And that's the Top Chef season 18 I want to see.
Yes. Rick and I have been emailing. We say more nudity on the show or we will stop watching.
Stop watering this down. Stop watering it down. We need nudity.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm tired of having to watch porn and Top Chef. They're
only
separately in the day.
Yeah, this is taking up too much of my time. I can't do 12 hours of porn and then 12 hours of Top Chef. Let me combine.
Yes.
Where do I sleep?
Well, I would also like to say this episode is very unusual in that there's 2 desserty challenges. The quick fire was also a bit dessert based and not good, but we'll kind of dive into that. But Alyssa, we kind of like to start off the show with a couple things. One, order of business. We donate to a charity every week. So please, our charity this week is the Lebanon Food Bank. And obviously, Lebanon is in need of some TLC right now. So the Lebanon Food Bank particularly donates to people affected in Beirut right now, giving them hot meals, water, fruits and vegetables, masks. So if you can, please think about donating. Jordan's gonna pop her handle in the chat. It's also, I can just verbally say it, it's at Jordan MYR1CK. But yeah, so please consider donating if you can. So that's first order of business. Second order of business, Alyssa, we like to take our guests through a quick fire of their own.
Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Let me sort of get situated.
Yes, underneath your chair, there is a box of meat.
I have knives in my shirt.
But we're just gonna ask you some like rapid fire questions, and I'm gonna time you. We're gonna see if you can get all the questions in 45 seconds. That's a
okay.
There's never been a 45-second quick fire in the history of Top Chef, but
I'm up for the challenge. Up for the challenge.
All right, so I'm gonna start the timer from the second Jordan finishes the first question.
Okay, lovely. Thank you.
All right, Alyssa, if you wanted to seduce someone with a meal, what would you cook?
Well, I would cook something. I'd cook some creamy moussaka. It's a Greek dish, and it's so creamy. They'd go, "Oh my God, hot cream! Is there anything sexier than that?"
Okay,
but I wouldn't eat it, and the things get less sexy after that. Go ahead.
Okay, what is the sexiest food?
Okay, I'd have to go with a banana.
Okay,
it's sexual. It's phallic. It's phallic.
Absolutely. What is your most controversial food opinion?
My most controversial food opinion. It's probably that I think I can't do this in 45. I don't know.
Hands up, utensils down. Out of curiosity, I can't judge you on it, but I would like to know, what is your most controversial food opinion? I know it couldn't make it to the plate.
I couldn't make it to the plate, but I will say, it's just so hard. I have so many. I mean, I think that brioche buns should never be part of burgers. I think that I want So I want savory.
We both.
I don't. Back I don't want brioche buns. Yeah, I have to host the rest of it alone. I don't know what happened. I am so sorry.
Okay, the woman who likes hot cream doesn't like brioche buns. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I hate brioche buns. I think when I want a burger, it's because I want something savory, and I love a nice like sourdough. I mean, ciabatta or a sesame bun. Once brioche is in here, I'm going, what is this? Why is it sweet?
See, I like that it's soft. I like.
Yeah.
Jordan and I both kind of like when something soft gets soggy with sauces. So like the nub of a big toddler-sized burrito,
Yes.
bottom where all the sauce has collected.
I agree. Believe me, I'm with you on that. Now, I would argue, doesn't a sesame do the same thing without the sweetness? I'll let you think about that. Think about that.
I'm gonna percolate on that.
Percolate on that.
Mull that over.
Yes.
I love that. And you taught me a new Greek dish. What was it called again?
Moussaka.
Okay. Oh wait, do white people call it moussaka?
Yes.
Great.
Moussaka.
Okay, please let me be the translator of like any sort of dish that isn't Indian into like white speak.
Yes.
It's so I can understand it. She's being nice to me.
Yes, I love that. These are all great quickfire questions.
Yeah, I found I'm not really good at quickfire. It seems I would not fare well on the show.
Sorry, go, Reka.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say, Alyssa, you not to be rude to a guest, but I've known you for many years now. You're a friend, and I thought you were gonna do a lot better with that than you did.
Yes,
you
of
did
course.
Absolutely. But here's what I'll say. I appreciated, Alyssa, if I was on the show and you made this quickfire, I think the equivalent of this quickfire would be that the challenge was include 10 ingredients in a dish, and you included 3, but all of them tasted really good.
Yes, you know what I wouldn't do? What? I wouldn't put the head of a pineapple on my fruit dish.
Sorry, bitch, that's a burn. And
Brian
and Andrea, that's a huge burn.
Huge burn.
And they're watching. They're watching. So
I know they're watching.
They're fucking obsessed with me. Okay.
Yes.
This was a great quickfire. Should we dive into the episode?
I think so.
Okay. So
I think absolutely.
I think, first of all, I got the biggest fucking mad love for Cynthia in this episode.
Oh.
My God.
Now help me out a little bit because I've only seen one episode, so the name recall is not great. So Cynthia, her father?
Yes. I was like, can someone fucking hug this woman? They're all like, yeah, Cynthia's pretty upset. I'm like, yeah. For background, Cynthia's father is very sick in the episode, and she's calling with his doctors, and she's
not only that, but she's like, yeah, I found out he was sick on my way here.
Yeah, it was the night before she left for San Francisco. I'm like, give this woman a fucking hug, you monster.
And also, just to be clear, her father is obviously sick, yes, but it's not just that he's sick, he is dying.
He's dying, yes, sorry.
She is like debating whether or not she will ever see him again.
Yes. And
it's a lot.
And but I guess, television must move on. So that is truly just the first scene of the episode. And then Andrea's like, I'm doing yoga. I could help.
I know. It always stresses me out when people on these shows, I've been watching Alone as well. And it happened on Alone on one of the episodes where the guy's mom was sick. And I'm like, it stresses me out too much. I'm like, I kind of wanted her to get kicked off because I was like, I want to relieve her of the burden of having to decide. I want her to go home.
I kind of agree with you, Alyssa. I understand that she probably thinks this could be my big break. This is what my family wants for me.
Yes.
And I think that's such a difficult decision. I wish during those times, this is if TV had empathy. Be like, hey, we're at the beginning of the competition. If you want to leave and come back next season, like you've got a spot.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like go take care of your own kind of thing. But
totally.
I guess fuck me.
I know. And she was like such a good sport. She's like, I don't want to mention it to the judges. So instead she's just like, having a little bit of a tough time.
I know, when she cries, I'm like, God, our fucking American spirit of like, tough it out, go to work. I don't care if your whole family melted in a fire this morning.
Your family melted in a fire? Well, guess what else was melted in a fire? Obviously your chocolate ganache, because where the hell was it? I don't fucking care. This tasted like shit without it.
Yeah, fucking, oh my, and then she was worried about her chocolate bomb. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Anyway, we love you, Cynthia.
Love you, Cynthia.
Yeah. Let's backtrack a little bit to the quick fire.
Yes.
In which Elizabeth Faulkner is the judge, and she is both outrageously mean and outrageously homosexual.
And what an interesting intersectionality we find there.
It's something that I find very important. I relate to that very much. I find that because that's kind of what I aspire to be.
Yeah, Jordan, you are actually nice and homosexual, and that's like a weird space for you to occupy.
So to see something else that's similar but different feels kind of like jarring for me, but is ultimately interesting.
Yes.
But she is dressed in a way that is very like cartoon. To me, obviously at the time it was cool, but to me now looking at it, it feels very cartoonish. Yeah. Like she looks like she's, for anyone watching this that is also homosexual, she looks like she could be a character on The Real L Word, which was a short-lived couple season lesbian show about lesbians in West Hollywood.
It really felt to me exactly that, where it's like, it felt like a costume designer of like the gay friend in a show who has like never met a gay person in their life, who's like, I think this feels right to me.
Yes.
But that's also how I felt about, was his name Miguel?
Yes.
That's also how I felt about Miguel. Like, let's, like, a guy from New York, how does he dress? Give him a tie the size of like a 2-liter bottle. All right.
And it lights up.
You're like, yeah, give him a wig. It's like, why do you have a wig? He's like, sex. I know it's sexy. Anyway, sorry. Quick fire. I'm getting ahead.
No, you're fine. Jersey has pointed out, and I think terrific logline fashion. Episode 1, the logline of the quick fire was work in a 3-star restaurant with Hubert Keller. Episode 2, cut a melon. So for those who didn't see the challenge was to make a fruit plate. Now, to me, I'm not a chef, but I love food. A fruit plate doesn't scream cooking. It screams to me presentation. And Top Chef has done challenges like that, but they're a little further into the season. They're kind of like, okay, we know you can make good food, but can you make it look nice? And like, here's an Instagram challenge where you can make something that tastes like shit, but it looks cool. And whoever gets the most likes wins the challenge or whatever.
Yeah, and we also hate those challenges.
And I hate those challenges. I think you should have to eat it. This challenge was truly tragic to me.
Tragic.
Because some people are just cutting fruit. Poor Andrea, bless her soul, is like, I just looked at the fruit and I thought it already looks pretty, so I'll just move it to the plate.
I swear to God, I looked at those pears. I said, yeah, put those pears on the fucking plate just like they are. But then I threw some watermelon on it too. I was like, oh, she literally put the pear on the plate.
Oh, just whole pear. Like, God's the best chef of all.
Yeah, that was so it. That was so it.
I'm God's sous chef. Who am I to judge?
Yeah. You think I can do a better job than our Lord and the Savior? You got another thing coming. No way. I'm not touching that.
I also think it felt so hard to watch because, and this is my most controversial food opinion, is that I don't like fruit.
Me neither.
Okay, Jordan, you both don't like fruit.
Thank
you. Crazy.
Fuck you, Reka.
But here's what I mean. Wait. Okay, because Alyssa, two things. One, I will say you said the sexiest fruit is a banana, so I just want to kind of cancel you for that.
Yeah.
And 2, is it like all fruit across the board? Is it eating fruit just by itself? Is it fruit in other things? Do you not like pie? Do you not like, tell me what the deal is.
Mine is a little sick. Mine is just a little sick. Mine is just sort of, I don't love having a lot of sugar. And so mine more comes from that place, which is like, if I'm going to have sugar, I'd almost rather just have like some chocolate or something.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't like the taste of fruit. I love cherries. I love berries, but like, I never really dig into like, an orange or something.
Copy. Okay, Jordan, explain yourself.
Okay, I don't like fruit. I think it is boring. I think most of it tastes similar. I like a fruit incorporated into something, sure. And I will eat it. Like, I will eat fruit, sure. But like, I don't know. My impulse is to say that I think fruit is heterosexual propaganda.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's like we play it off like it's very sexy, and it's the thing where it's like women are supposed to be like petite and want to eat like a strawberry with whipped cream on it, and that to me is bad. I don't like that. I don't like that, and I don't think it tastes that good. Barring citrus, I think citrus is different. It's its own thing. And I also don't want people to talk about fruit that is a vegetable, like a tomato. Like, yes, that is a fruit, but that's a vegetable. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I obviously love avocados, obviously love tomatoes. I'll say another thing.
Yes.
I don't mind fruit. You know what I hate? When fruit gets anywhere near a savory dish. Now you're sort of catching on. You're catching on. This is the brioche. I don't want strawberries in my salad. I don't want caramelized onions on my pizza.
That's crazy because that's where I'm coming in.
We're yin and yang.
We're two sides of the same coin, because once you're like, do you want a strawberry? I'm like, not really. Is there something else? But then they're like, oh, we put this strawberry in a salad with a candied pecan and a goat cheese. Then I'm like, yes, I'm here for that.
Oh my God. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. I have to tell you. So Jordan hating fruit has made me realize I like fruit more. Jordan, I actually have not eaten as much fruit since you've told me that you hate fruit.
Good.
Truly, no. I mean, sorry, I want to reverse that. I've eaten more fruit since you've told me. Yeah, because so I don't buy fruit regularly. I buy bananas and that's it. I don't buy anything else. And usually I think that I've carried that over from New York, where it's like, I don't have time for a meal, but I have a banana in my backpack, whatever.
Yes.
And every Indian household, it's like, you want half a banana? You want a banana? Did you eat a banana today? Do you want bananas? And it's like, you're eating a lot of bananas. And, but I will say I love dessert. And so I like fruit as an alternative for me of like, hey, I'm craving sugar right now, but maybe I'll just eat something. I'll eat some natural sugar instead of the 32 desserts I made. So that's gotten me to order more fruit or buy more fruit. Especially berries. I love berries. And I'm both of you. I'm everybody. I'm everyone, because I like fruit. I don't care what. I'll have a little brie and apple sandwich. Yes. A little strawberry in my salad. Yes. I made an apple, parsley, lettuce, toasted pecan with lemon, salt, and pepper earlier this week. It was delicious. I ate so much of it. It was great.
You know what I'll say? I want to come back in to say, guess what? You throw some almond butter into the mix. Now I'm enjoying bananas more. Now I'm enjoying apples more. And
I love almond butter. And here's something fucked up about Jordan that I'm going to dox her for. Jordan hates peanut butter. Sound off in the comments. I fucking love peanut butter.
Okay. Let me defend myself. Reka is trying to get me in trouble with everyone in the food community and everyone in the world, honestly. I don't hate peanut butter, but I think similar to fruit, it has become a personality trait to be like, I love peanut butter. And it's like, peanut butter is fine. It's fine. I like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I like a like spicy peanut sauce.
Me too.
With sriracha and some cilantro, some garlic in it, some chili.
Okay.
But just peanut butter, it's fine. I don't want to eat a bit like, what happened to like people eating like, you know, a curry, a sandwich? Like, why are we, I'm so confused.
Why are we eating condiments and berries as food?
I think you're right, though. It became like pizza, where it's like, I love like scooping peanut butter from the jar. And it's like, okay.
That's fine. But it's not like, for me, I would rather have chocolate by itself rather than chocolate with peanut butter. Just a personal preference, and I don't judge anyone else. But
Jordan, I will say I really, really love peanut butter.
I know.
It is in my top 10 foods. This jar is toddler sized. It is very large. I truly love peanut butter, almond butter, any nut butter you want to throw at me. I fucking love that. I love nuts. I'll fuck with nuts. Any candy is better with nuts.
Me too.
Any candy is better with nuts. Yeah, Jordan, eat my ass. Any candy is better with nuts. Snickers better than Milky Way. Three Musketeers, I don't need it. No.
I agree. Three Musketeers is kind of the equivalent to me of fruit, where I'm like, I need some texture with it. Throw some nuts in. Now it's like, okay, now it's banana and almond milk. Throw that on toast. Forget it. I got myself a great meal.
Thank
banana
you.
alone, it wasn't doing for me.
Take 5? Yes.
Take 5 has everything you could ever.
It's everything. It's my perfect man. It's everything.
Jordan.
Trouble
with this.
It's it's just, and once again, it feels like such a controversial opinion because people are so diehard about it when I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's hard. It's hard. Then people get very upset with me, and I don't judge anyone else.
Okay,
you know,
that's fair.
My father eats spoonfuls of peanut butter out of the jar multiple times a day instead of.
So now we're getting to the root.
You hate your father. What are your daddy issues?
And it all comes back to this. And
it's
this is
daddy issues.
Yes. Ultimately, it's daddy issues. He might be watching this episode right now.
And that's good. And that's good.
And I'll have to break down.
Wow. Okay, so we got a lot out of that, which is out of this quickfire, which was a garbage quickfire. Because I also think what I don't like about this quickfire is, so like I see the first 5 people trying to make their food, and I'm like, what the hell are they doing? They're just cutting fruit. And then you see, and a spoiler alert, the people who end up becoming the hot shots of the season. You see Leanne, you see Tiffany, you see Harold, you see them actually fucking making shit.
Yeah.
And the fact that Elizabeth Faulkner, like, and I almost said Padma, and Katie Lee don't taste like Harold's dish or Steven's sort of Connect 4 board thing, is crazy to me. They didn't taste anything because it's just fruit, even though they was prepared. It's crazy.
Yes, Yanni, sound like the therapist. Now, I agree with you on that. And it really made me be like, also how I feel pro we've gotten in the reality space where like I watch a lot of Great British Bake Off.
Me too.
And I'm just like, it's so wild to me because the stuff you see on that show, like out the gate, these people are like pro chefs. Like they're making like insane like I feel like to watch people do what I was like, oh yeah, that's probably what I would do. You'd like it's like what my mom did at picnics. It's like you cut the pineapple and then you like scoop some melon and you like throw some mint on it. Yeah. So to me, I was like, oh, it's so crazy how like when reality shows were probably new, everything was interesting. Whereas now like everything's been done. So things have to be so crazy to be impressive.
Exactly. Then that's how you get Cookie Chandelier on Great British Bake Off because people are like so fucked up.
Exactly. The Cookie Chandelier.
That was, I remember Ruby, I think it was Ruby, my Indian god. She was like, that's not even a thing, which I deeply appreciate.
Yeah, and it's like the amount of time they have too. Like in Great British Bake Off, it's like Cookie Chandelier. You have exactly 20 minutes. You know, it's like,
and this was like, you have 4 hours to cut fruit.
I know.
It was a really shitty challenge. I hated this challenge.
Also, that guy is crazy. Does he end up, I guess, I'll have to keep tuning in, but Steven, the cups guy, I was like, he's like a movie villain. He's like playing into the movie villain tropes of just like, oh, I knew mine was the best. How could it not be?
This is hypocritical because I am sweating, but Steven is an incredibly wet, very pretentious 24-year-old boy. That boy was just in college. Truly, boy who wears suits in a kitchen.
I know.
Yeah.
That's another thing I noticed. People like style-wise, I was like, these people are 24. I'm like, you guys could be like 52. Not by looks, but just by like the way you dress and carry yourself. I'm like, you look like my father.
Alyssa.
Well, I feel like it was a different time.
Yes.
Where back then it was cool to be mature, and nowadays you seem like you're 13.
Like, look at my skirt. Like, my skirt is straight. Like, this is something that I think these are very outfits that 13-year-olds would wear.
Yes,
yeah, you're wearing tie-dye. I mean, look at us.
Look at us. I'm 30 and I'm wearing polka dots.
Okay. This is from Brandy Melville. I mean, come on. I go in there, I have to push 13-year-olds out of the way. I go, excuse me, I wanted that shirt. We're all, this is Steven's out here. Looks like he owns the stock market.
Yes, he owns the stock.
Yeah, he owns it all.
The whole thing.
He rides the bull to work. I mean, really.
Incredible. Yes. And I will say that I did find his dish, it was pretty. It's because I don't like Steven that I didn't like the dish, and I assumed it didn't taste very good.
Sure.
Whereas like Harold, who's like a really like sweet man, I was like, oh, give him the win. his dish actually did look sexy, which is the challenge later, by the way.
It did. And he really just did the best at the challenge for sure. Whereas the cups one was very just like, no, you didn't really, this is not really what the challenge was.
Yeah, if you ordered a fruit plate at an avant-garde restaurant and they gave you 24 cups.
That's it. Exactly.
Wild.
Also so funny, just to reiterate, that woman put a pear in an apple.
I'm like, yo, that is like, Jordan and I had like, the reason actually we started Talk Shop is because Jordan and I would like watch Top Chef and just talk shop about it a lot. And one of the things we noticed that we mentioned in the last season is just, or last episode, when they have to make a dessert of any kind, it is truly like someone's like, can you cook an alien spleen? They're like, they've never heard of dessert. They've never eaten it. Everyone loves, here's my thing about people who hate dessert. The way people like to be like, I love cheese. I'm a cheese girl or whatever. People love to be like, sorry, I'm just kind of more of a savory guy. I don't really eat dessert. I guess I'm not a baby or whatever. They love to like fucking brag about it. I'm like, no, you're not anybody just because you don't like dessert. You're a loser.
That's why Great British Bake Off had such an opening, because you can tell like these shows clearly don't like treat it like it's the they treat it like they poo-poo it, whereas Great British Bake Off is like, this is the whole thing.
This is the whole thing. Yes, thank you. And so when people, I don't know what to do, that is what Andrea's dish looked like, where they're like, fruit? Well, I don't know what to do with anything sweet. So I guess this? Is this a plate?
Yeah, yes. What else? Yeah,
I think that I also thought that both in the quick fire and in the elimination, Elizabeth Faulkner was so rude, and then people were so rude back to her.
Totally.
Now no one would ever, like, the judges are pretty nice, and even when the judges are rude, the contestants are just kind of like, yeah, chef, and then that's it. But these people were like, she was like, this is actually not good looking good. And people are like, yeah, I know that. This was the best I could do because we had 3 seconds. It's just so confrontational. It's like hard to watch.
Oh my God, it's so true. You're so right. And yeah, I did notice like, versus Great British Bake Off, like they're sort of harsh criticisms about the person versus the dish. It's like, this is not what you believe in.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're right.
Yes.
It felt very weird. I don't know. Also, I think my biggest takeaway from the quickfire was Lisa. She's like the older woman who is not older. She's probably in her 40s, maybe.
Yeah.
She is. She has like a very short, like cropped hair.
Yep.
And she's very sweet.
She wears the cowl neck to the sexy dessert.
Yes,
it's really sweet. She's really sweet.
And I can't believe she doesn't have her own food show, because her charm and her kindness just like radiate through the screen.
Even when they were roasting her at the end, she was like, yeah, I just don't do this kind of stuff. Oops. And it was very sweet.
She's so cute. I love her.
But yeah, even hers, I remember being like, that's literally like my mom used to get those in like those like little tart things.
Yes.
The pecan tarts. I was like, it's just so funny. Like on like imagining that on Great British Bake Off, they would just get
absolutely. Yes. We also get a little bit of a slam to non-edible, I almost said non-edible garbage, non-edible garnishes.
Oh my God, totally. And Steven just being like, rule number 1 of cooking school, you never do that.
Which I graduated last night. No non-edible garnishes.
I remember this so well.
Yeah,
which I was, of course, kicked out of because everyone despised me. Yeah. I was the first person to be kicked out because of my personality. Anyway, they taught me this.
Yes, really Bond villain-esque. That's definitely true. I never really thought about it in that way, but
yes.
Also, everyone's eyebrows are so thin, I can't handle it.
Leanne it's very thin. It's definitely a look. I used to know people, people would like tattoo their eyebrows. I knew people in high school that were doing stuff like that, or like
I had the
not
thinnest
tattooing, but like super thin.
Mine were so thin.
I've had thick eyebrows my whole life, and my aunts, like any Indian person in the chat, which is maybe one person, and it's me. But like your aunts will always be like, pluck your eyebrows. And I was always like, I think my eyebrows are fine. And then I would see girls at school. It's like, oh no, am I wrong or are they wrong? Or is it possible we're all beautiful and we don't need to do anything?
No, that's not possible.
That one's impossible. We're in LA. That one, no. Also, the crunchy hair. I was like, I remember that phase so much when you would just get your hair wet and go, let's see how ice hard we can make this.
Absolutely, particularly with curly hair. It is so like triggering for me because my older brother used to put gel in his hair, and he has straight hair, so it doesn't fucking matter, and he's a boy and no one cares what he looks like. But I want to be like my brother, so I would try to use that gel.
Oh,
it's like sends chills down my spine. It looks so bad.
No, I know. It really brought me back to that era of like, oh my God, the like very like belt over the shirt era. That's what we're in.
Oh my gosh.
Belt over the shirt era. Belt over the shirt. Like weird, like multiple necklaces.
Yes.
Length.
Everything's sort of spiky. Everything's got a little edge. Yeah.
You're always trying to see, you're a porcupine. You gotta use your hair and necklace to get some money.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Can we move on to the elimination challenge?
Yes. So this elimination challenge, for people who didn't watch, they're like, we're bringing out somebody special. And then they do all these cuts. Now, from a filmmaker's standpoint, to film this woman's legs, they film like a sexy woman's legs and stuff. They had to get they had to like have this woman reset walking up the stairs like 3 times, which is very funny to me. This woman comes out. Her name is Madame S. And she works at, what was the name of the shop?
I think it was like Mr. S.
Mr. S, yes. That's my father. But like she's like representing this, like, is it a sex toy shop?
Yeah, toy shop, it felt like, yeah.
Okay, cool. So the challenge becomes make a sexy dessert, right? Which is very unusual on Top Chef to do a dessert challenge on the 2nd episode. Especially coupled with like a non-cooking weird fucking fruit cutting challenge.
Yeah. Yes. Now, I loved when she came up, Miguel was just like, oh.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm not.
Yeah. He was like, okay, this is serious. Yeah.
It's also wild because she's wearing like normal glasses, like what look like readers, and a very tiny top hat.
And her dress wasn't even that sultry. I was like, even that, I was like, it's kind of just like a tight bodycon dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's all of it was kind of like, okay.
Yes.
She looks great, but yeah, I was just like, yeah.
Yes. And there's always a discussion, like, what did we think about like a sexy food challenge? Because there is this discussion in other challenges later in Top Chef where maybe sexiness is not the focus of the challenge, but maybe they're doing some like, we're at the Second City Improv Theater. Someone suggested we make sexy asparagus or whatever. What do we think of a sexy food challenge? Is that a real challenge? Is that creative enough? Do we like it?
You know, it definitely feels like first tier. It definitely feels like first thing that comes to mind. It's like sexy.
Low-hanging.
Low-hanging fruit. Yeah, because the food is sexual, and I was like, it was interesting to see what people thought of as sexual. I will say, I don't know if any of the food read is very sexual to me.
You didn't want to fuck that strawberry shortcake that looked like a woman's flesh open, like her skin open.
That one was so, yeah, it really looked like an open scab. It was like, oh God, I want to check on this dessert. I want to like make sure this dessert's okay. I want to stitch it up.
Take her to the hospital.
It's not good. What I will say is I love the concept of this challenge because I think there are 1,000 different ways to interpret something being sexy.
Yes.
I think that the contestants, because this is like season 1, episode 2, and people had nothing before this to know like where the bar was, I think people felt really lost.
I agree.
But I think like, I would love to see like maybe in the next season them bring back some old challenges and have people try to like redo them because I think this could be so fun. I love the concept of like, well, and this leads me to a question that I want to ask both of you also is if you were to do this challenge and you were challenged to do something sexy, to you, would you do something that's like actually sexy, more along the lines of how Tiffany made like a cookie necklace?
I thought hers was so smart.
I thought that was really,
that was hot. That was hot. Like watching it get tied on someone and then eating it. It's like, that's going to be hot. So that's definitely like, yeah, that felt I guess the cookie tasted like shit, which was
option. Or
Which is
do something that is like sexy, but like sillier, like a play on words, something where, you know, being sexy is like being yourself and being silly and being comfortable in your skin or whatever. Like, what would y'all do?
Well, I think that I agree that like, yeah, like the like tit for tat. I was like, I don't think that that's like, you can't just throw a name on something and then make it sexual. I think I would have done something where you have to like eat it with your hand, like eat it with like a finger or something would have been sexual. I think there was ways they could have done, yeah. But yeah, the idea of like making little titties, I was like, that's not very sexual.
Yes. Yeah.
Making to me, the guy Dave who made the like boob shortcake, it was like bagel bites or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not very sexy to me.
It's funny because it's like Dave is gay, so it's like that's probably not sexy to him either.
Yeah,
so
totally.
like, why would you not
code switching?
Yeah, I'm like, why did you not find something that was like sexy to you?
Right.
I think that a lot of people weren't going by what was sexy to them.
That's right. That's it.
Yeah,
because also the edible underwear, I was like, this is just like it was like so thick. It was like this thick cake that was just kind of looked vaguely like a bikini. And I was like, this is not hot. This looks like, like a birthday cake for a beach party.
Yeah.
Thick underwear,
thick.
I think is the operative phrase, Alyssa.
Yes.
That there is nothing, even in the winter, I don't think I want thick underwear.
I agree completely. I agree. I don't think I want, Also, don't you feel like there's always on these shows, and I'm not very familiar with this show, so I don't know if it changes, but I always feel like there is sort of like a hot judge who's like a guy in his 60s who always is like a little too flirty with some of the female contestants.
Okay, Alyssa, yes. So who was doing that today? It was
to the sexy underwear girl, because he kept being like, love to see you wearing these. Are you gonna be wearing these?
Leo did that?
Maybe he didn't say that, but he did.
He said, are you gonna wear these? Which I alluded to. You don't need that, because Tom is normally pretty neutral and very much talks about his wife. Okay. But there were people making comments.
Madam S was being such a pervert to Candy.
Which I thought was gross. Yeah, I thought her gross. I found Miguel gross. I found her gross. I found a lot of people being gross at a party that, in theory, should have a lot of clear rules and boundaries if they're really going to be.
Yes.
You know what else was kind of, as much as Miguel was gross, I was like, it was so like, oh, this would not fly, or no one would even think to say this these days when they're like, now look, there's nothing sexy about Miguel. And everyone was like,
that made me feel so bad. I know, it was like, I don't know. Any comment on someone's appearance on this show makes me really uncomfortable when people were like, this is jumping ahead, but when Adria gets eliminated, they're like, she's beautiful. I'm like,
yes, exactly. That was so weird. Someone said it. You're right.
Really
yes.
Gorgeous. She's a total 9, and it's sad.
I also think it felt so wild with the comment about Miguel, because Madam S was like, listen, there's nothing sexy about Miguel. That being said, he was unbelievably charming, very funny. And
I made him kiss my ass.
Right.
Like, wait, so what? It just felt, it felt.
Totally.
Yes.
So
go ahead.
Wait, I need your answer. Do you
yes.
sexy,
I think I would do something a little conceptually sexy. So the first thing I thought of, I love what Alyssa said too. Like, I love the interactivity. This is gonna sound like a plug, but I wrote a show called Gods of Food for College Humor, and there is a sexy chef. So I actually had to think of a lot of sexy food for that show. And one of the dishes we came up with is called Taste Meat, which is just like melted chocolate that you lick off of your the person you're eating with's finger. So to me, that's like going in the Tiffany direction. The direction I would go in is actually an Adrienne Cheatham direction from season 16, Colorado. Season 15, Colorado. Her, not just for anything, her meal, for one of her meals, she makes this like cheese lace overlay for like a buttermilk soup, because her whole thing is like fine dining, but Southern, or like upscale Southern dining. To me, that was sexy. That was like, what is underneath this like gorgeous lace tweel, basically. And it was this like brothy soup, like unctuous soup. That is hot to me. If like someone served me that, I would smooch him.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I go that far. I would smooch.
You heard it here. You want to make an ungulate soup? You will be smooched.
What about you, Jordan?
Ugh, I don't know. I've really been mulling this over because I came up with this question.
Yes.
But, you know, part of me wants to make a dish that's like the squirter. And it's like, you know, something so stupid.
Do you think it could be, so Jordan, you know how like, so like with citrus, right? You have to roll it for the juices to come out.
Huh?
Oh.
I wonder if there's something you could mimic with like a semi-ripe slice of lemon and having to like work it to like squirt. Just an idea for when you're on Top Chef.
Okay, that's kind of a combination of sexy and funny.
I think you're right. Grapefruit is very sexual when it comes down to it. When it comes down to it, you can do some sexual like.
That's true. So I would probably put a grapefruit out and say put your penis in it. And then that would be my dish.
That'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. I look forward to your Christmas party.
Yes, so much. Very fun. But I agree with both of you. I think like eating stuff, I think something beautiful is very sexy. I think eating with your hands, I do think hands down in this challenge, Tiffany's thing was the sexiest. It's a shame that it didn't. And even like they were complaining about how like you bit into it and the cookie broke apart. But I'm like, oh, that's fun too, because then it like falls down someone's shirt. You gotta get in there, get the cookie out of their shirt. I don't know.
The act of tying it, the sort of all of it is very.
Yes.
I will say, and I'll say this as someone who does, I take back everything I said. I do like a dessert. I thought everything looked terrible. I wasn't tempted to eat a single thing. I thought, oh, I'm so glad I'm not at that party. I don't want any of it.
Yes.
Everything looked.
When I watch Great British Bake Off, I'm like, I need a cake right now. I need a tart. I need a whatever. But this, I was like, oh.
Here's what I'll say. They, by this time, had not nailed their format, and so they didn't do the separate sexy glam shots of the food. So all their food is filmed in like unbalanced horseshit lighting, like what I have if I were to try to show you something good. I know everyone's joking that I have food around me, and I do. I'm working off my kitchen table. So I think that adds to it. But I also do think they were held to a much less high standard in terms of presentation. Because like some of that shit just like looks like a mess. It's like not refined very well. Like I would say like, again, you can tell who the heavy hitters are, which is like Harold, Leanne, Tiffany, like they're the ones that are making the like Top Chef, as you know it in season 17 dishes in season 1.
Yes. Totally. And also I think that we really, I mean, they kind of hammer this home, but I think it's so true of like, there's nothing less sexy than a lack of confidence.
True.
So when you're presenting your dish and you're like, this is bad. I'm sorry. It's supposed to have a creme anglaise on top, but the creme anglaise melted. Now it tastes like garbage. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know. Now I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, and now I've. Oh yes, who won last week?
It was Harold. Harold.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, he's strong. He's a strong man.
Oh, and speaking of which, he wears a sleeveless shirt, a shirt with the sleeves.
So hot. So hot.
And I mean, like, not even for me, but I was like, he looks good.
And I don't like a muscle tee, but he has a really quiet confidence.
He does.
And I love it. He's calm.
You're so right.
He's so painfully normal in a way I find hot because everyone I meet is demented. And I love that about him.
He's so sturdy. It's so true.
Oh my God, Alyssa's sturdy.
He's so sturdy.
I changed my sexy dish. My sexy dish is a stump because it's the sturdiest thing I can think of. And that is
a mushroom with a really thick stump.
A huge mushroom in the fucking ground.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. Yeah, that's it. And he's just, yeah, you're right.
Wow, Reika, we're getting some comments that people ship Rick Harold.
Oh my God, it's so cool. Like, that's so good together. It's so cool how naturally every part of my name matches with an American name. Any permutation will sound flawless.
Yeah, Rick Harold. It's
Harold Ka.
Harold Ka.
Very fun.
We love.
I thought the biggest no for me of this episode was that so many people were talking about how nuts, they were like, I'm doing a thing with nuts. I'm doing nuts because nuts are sexy. I'm like, Has that ever been a thing?
Have even balls ever been sexy? We're not talking about like American Pie or like whatever the fuck. I do know people who think balls are hot. I guess in a sexy dessert challenge, I'm not like, give me balls.
No.
Yeah. And I think one step even further from that, calling them nuts is so much worse. Like when someone says nuts.
Here's my gorgeous peanut butter nards ball.
When someone says nuts, totally. I think of truck nuts. What is what I think of? So truck nuts are like plastic fake testicles.
Yes.
You can get to put on the back of your truck.
You know what? So I didn't know those were plastic.
Driving, it looks like your truck has big testicles hanging off the back.
Because otherwise it's a girl truck.
Because then it's a girl truck, and that
means it's a pussy. And that means you crash your car into it. But if it's a guy truck, you go, whoa, stay back, stay the distance.
You see truck nuts,
exactly right.
Car.
Yeah, actually, when I see balls on the truck, I go, okay, I'll now take my top off. Like, that's like, okay, now I am turned on because you are strong and manly.
Yeah, I like that too. And all the trucks are cis and they're all hetero, and that's truck culture.
That's truck culture.
Yeah, I agree. It's like no one, like nuts is, it's so funny. Yeah, it's like, you're so right. Everyone kind of just went to like the word sex. No one did what was actually sexy to them, because no one was like, God, I'm getting turned on at the thought of nutty balls.
Yes, truly.
Like, yeah, it was just like, oh, well, what could nuts are, yeah.
I
so panicked.
I fucking love nuts, as we described. I love nuts. And none of those dishes were hot to me. The only dish that had nuts in it that was hot to me was maybe Chris's, because he used hazelnut, which I do think is a hot nut.
Right.
Jordan and I disagree on this. My favorite candy, and this is bougie as fuck. I know Jordan's already following up.
Yes. Reka's favorite little treat is a Ferrero Rocher.
And you're out.
Gives you on Christmas as a thank you gift in your office.
A stranger meaning my husband, bitch. What are you talking about?
Reka, I'm right there with you. I love a Ferrero Rocher.
When I graduated Improv 101, my dear sibling, so sweet, came with one of those eggs. The egg filled with my eggs. Ferrero Rocher. A gorgeous gift. I loved it.
I'll give you one more. I'll go one step even more psychotic than that. Guess what I like? What? Russell Stovers. I like a nice variety box of Russell Stovers around the holidays. It looks like it's wrapped. It's not. That's just the packaging. And everything, you go, what am I going to get? And you look at the little list, you go, oh, I'm going to go for the fruit and
nut. Every time I've had a Russell Stovers, it feels like the chocolate is just something that's painted brown. It's not chocolate. It doesn't feel like chocolate.
I don't think it is. I do not think it is. That's right.
Taste.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I think it's simply an homage to another time. I think it's just it's something that it's frozen in time, and I appreciate it for that. It's never tried to adapt.
Giannis is so correct. Kinder Bueno is absolutely incredible. Kinder Bueno is like the Scandinavian version of my not my Russell Stover. Get that out of my mouth. Of my Ferrero Rocher. I love that.
I am like living in a different dimension right now.
Okay, Jordan, hit us. What's your favorite candy?
It's gonna be something stupid like Twizzlers or some shit.
How dare you? You know that's not true. You think I'm eating a fruit-based dessert?
That's true. I bet you're like chocolate.
I bet you like Kit Kat.
I love Kit Kat.
Kit Kat's fine. Listen, a wafer is phoning it in for me. In terms of being a cookie, a wafer is phoning it in. I'm sorry. It's not enough of a cookie. I said it, and I'm sorry. Kit Kat. I think you're good, but like,
this is a lot. This is a lot.
What's your favorite candy?
Hit me with a Hershey's bar.
Plain? Oh,
yeah.
No almonds?
I like the almonds too, but
I can't stomach it if there's no almonds.
Me neither. A classic, unless you got some more.
M&Ms?
With peanuts?
Okay. This is important. I am so sorry to the former me who said we have similar taste buds, because I can't even look that person in the eye right now. Who is she? I don't even know who she is.
Okay.
Oh my
No one else.
God.
Wait a minute.
My favorite. Wait. Okay, I know. Just this last thing, and then I'll leave. My favorite thing is like a UK Cadbury bar is also a favorite.
And not.
Absolutely not, you sicko. My favorite is I like the Oreo one, and I love the Cadbury bubble or like bubbly bar.
The Arrow?
The Arrow bar, yeah. But
How the fuck? Okay, wait, bitch. How the fuck are you like Kit Kat is a fake cookie?
Agreed.
But you like a Cadbury Arrow bar. They're like the same. They're cousins.
They're cousins. That's true. But listen, I like some of my cousins, and I don't like all of my cousins.
I like eating some of my cousins.
I'll eat some of my cousins. I don't like eating some of my other
And you
cousins.
see
Okay?
Jordan saying, I like some of my cousins. It's all Freudian. And we're back. And see, so we're sort of back where we started. Yes.
I literally am sweating from this debate. I have such strong because I'm not a big candy eater. I've had a Snickers, a fun size Snickers in my room for 2 years that someone gave me. I just
throw it away. Give it to me. I see you all the time.
I'll give it to you.
I want to just say, I would be remiss if I didn't say, the Cadbury mini egg does something to me. Something to me.
Yes.
Ew!
Now we're talking.
My least
What a
favorite.
perfect candy. What a perfect candy.
Alyssa, that makes me want to puke.
Reka, I think you're thinking
perfect
of a different
candy.
thing. Reka, I think you're thinking of a different thing. Are you thinking about a cream egg?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so
Are you talking about the tiny things?
The tiny little ones.
What's
cream
inside
eggs are
of
good
it?
too, though.
Cream eggs is
Just
shit, Jordan.
solid chocolate with a thin candy shell, and they're perfect. And now it's easier.
Those are good. Those are good. Those are good.
Yeah, I
and
knew you like that. I knew you liked that.
Okay.
I will say,
keys.
this is making me more tempted to eat. I can't wait to end this. I can't wait to end this, but when we end this, I can't wait to eat chocolate in a way that when I left the episode, I said I never want to eat dessert again. So anyway, just to say, that's how bad they did. That's how bad they did. That I want chocolate more after arguing about Hershey's than I do after seeing their flesh-colored tart.
The flesh-covered titty tart.
Yes, Jason, Cadbury cream eggs are terrific. Jason, and we'll get back to you on this. Can you tell me, do you eat it in one bite? That's what always bothers me about those. How do you eat it? Because sometimes you eat one, it's slipping over. Those are,
Okay.
Hot,
I'm having a disgusting flashback to Paul Hollywood. He's the worst man I've ever not met. And in any caramel challenge, he will take something, just to kind of give you another item of food. He'll take something, this size, a caramel egg, and he'll just shove the whole thing down his gullet. I hate it so much. I don't like caramel. I don't like gooey caramel stuff.
Yeah, me neither.
This is so sick. Okay, but what you have to do is, Jason's right. You bite a little off the top, you suck some out. It's the method of like eating a cookie when the cookie is going to have a lot of crumbs. You bite the cookie, and then you suck immediately to get all the crumbs up, so the crumbs won't get all over you.
Yeah, again, I'm like, now it's too much for me. It's like, now it's work, now it's effort.
Now it's a drink?
Jason, now it's a drink. Now I'm
was it a drink or is it an egg? I don't know.
I'm here with Jason.
Jason's right. It's nice that they're seasonal. It's sort of like the Reese's pumpkin. It's like the Reese's egg. It's like I appreciate it on Easter. Yeah. Yes. I love a Trader Joe's dark chocolate peanut butter egg. Not to bring back peanut butter, Jordan.
Those are really good.
Hot topic for you.
It feels so crazy that I even came to this episode.
I do feel nauseous. I just like the idea of drinking some caramel or drinking some cream makes me want to fucking shit myself. Oh my God.
Wow. Drinking something creamy is I would say one of my top 5 favorite sensations.
If it's a drink, yes.
Yes.
If it's
I'm thinking a latte.
You know, Reka, I'm a pervert. I will just drink sauce. I will just drink
Jordan,
sauce.
upsettingly, to advertise for this podcast, something I'm involved in, she put a fucking straw in I almost said tube, but a bottle of ranch dressing and drank it. To advertise for the show we host together, as if she doesn't even know that I'm here.
Oh my God. Did it work?
Sick.
What I will say is no press is bad press.
I agree.
And I get a lot of
shock people.
And I got messages from people who I think are gross, being like, "This is gross." So that one shocked me. People I thought
sex offenders and stuff messaging Jordan.
All my followers. But it really surprised me. People who I've seen eat,
all kinds of things.
A 7-Eleven hot dog that's been sitting in their car for 12 hours.
Yes.
And it's like, That is, and see, Jason's bringing up something, being from the South, drinking ranch dressing with a straw sounds reasonable, and that's true. You know, it is Southern culture.
You know
being
what?
Disgusting Southern culture.
I don't want to knock. You're right. If it's cultural, I'm not going to knock it.
Thank you.
Let's hop back into the episode. I know we have every episode. We're going to have a 30-minute candy diatribe. But yeah, so it seems like all their ideas are kind of bad from the get-go, and kind of just get worse as their elements don't come to fruition.
Absolutely.
We have some like key quotes here where let's see. Oh, where everyone's saying balls and tits. Yeah, as you said. Leanne says Asian is sexy, and I went, yes. And then I went, South Asian is too. I'm alone in my apartment. What else did I write down that was cool about
Guys, I have to put my AC on. If it's too loud, you tell me and I'll move.
I will, but I won't. Actually, I won't tell you if it's too loud.
I will also say one of my favorite quotes from this episode is Miguel gives them all his dishes, which he called the total orgasm. And then he says, I hope you had a total orgasm tonight, to which someone responds, I think is Madam S responds, it was fine.
Which actually sounds like a realistic hetero interaction around sex.
Sure.
Yes.
Very sexy.
Yes. So what we've got going on, I just took some notes generally on what they were cooking up. We've got, let's see, Leanne did sort of a banana cashew nut spring roll thing. She had like some sort of phyllo dough kind of thing going on. And was it phyllo? Am I remembering?
I think it was phyllo. That struck me as phyllo. And then it made me think, oh, are egg rolls made of phyllo?
I don't think, because it depends on what, like there's different wrappers for egg rolls and stuff. I think I am talking straight out of my asshole. So please correct me in the chat. But like when I bought egg roll wrappers, they're like rice papery kind of stuff that you fry up. I'm sure you could make like a hybrid sort of thing with, like it would be more like a spanakopita type of situation. It would just be super, super flaky.
Yeah. True. Yeah, I mean, Philo's very Philo's very thin, so that did seem like maybe a little thicker.
So whatever she used, there was a little controversy, right? Because she let it go in the oven. Someone turned on her oven, which I thought absolutely baller that she labeled her oven, name, and the degrees it was set to. They don't film that as much anymore. I'm sure it's happening on later seasons, but they don't show you that. But
I did think things were a little chaotic because I remember also someone was like, who has the blowtorch? And I'm like,
yes.
Because I'm coming from Great British Bake Off world. Everyone has their own shit. No one's going into other people's shit. This felt very like Wild West. I was very like, oh, this seems a little. And then he was like, well, how are you going to do it without an ice cream maker? And he's like, I don't know. And then he's like, that son of a bitch, there's an ice cream maker right there. And I was like, well, how's he supposed to know?
How's he supposed to know? It's challenge 2, and your first challenge was like cooking in a 3-star restaurant, and then I don't even remember what the last challenge was. Oh, cook your signature dish or whatever the fuck.
Yes. So I think that leads us to Alyssa. I need to know what you would make if you were in this elimination challenge.
Sexy dish.
What would your dish be?
Okay.
Wow. Okay, let me think about it for a second in my signature form of taking too long. Hold on.
Please do. And keep in mind that we will be posting this on our Instagram story. This is a good time for a little plug. If you're not and you want to go ahead and follow @TalkChef on Instagram, we'll be doing a poll after the show to see if you would rather have Alyssa's dessert or Miguel's dessert. And then we vote. And then we tag that top chef. So if they lose, they feel a lot of shame.
They do. We will say, can I reveal this, Jordan, that Harold Dieterle just liked that Zach Oyama won our last one, which was very funny.
He lost, Zach won, and Harold Dieterle sent us the clapping hands emoji.
Which I was like, honestly, that's a man. That's a sturdy-ass man. He knows when he's been defeated.
Okay, so now look, this isn't perfect, but I've had the epiphany.
Let's hear it.
That is there anything hotter than like sucking or licking? So I think that there should have been some sort of like lollipop type like energy going into this. So I don't quite know if I would know how to make it, but I would say I would have made like a sort of lollipop that like after like a short term lollipop that once you suck it like 10 times, something is in the middle. And I'm not talking Tootsie Roll Pop. I know that exists. I'm talking maybe the middle has a creme brulee. Maybe it's like a tiramisu style lollipop.
You want like a cake pop almost, like a cake pop, but maybe more textures going on. There's like,
or maybe like an ice cream. Yeah, like a sort of like maybe a mix between an ice cream pop. Yes.
I love
Take
that
lollipop,
idea.
dip it in various sweet sauces. That's
if you
nice too,
do like a neutral ice cream base, you make it, you freeze the fuck out of that center, and you dip it in like ganaches or strawberry, raspberry.
That's it, I think.
That's awesome.
I like that. I think that's maybe what I would have done, because then the act of eating it is sexual, whereas watching people eat like tarts, I'm like, that's not really sexual.
Yeah. Jordan, you didn't ask me, but I can volunteer. Thank you, Giannis. That is actually my sexiest dish.
Also, the idea of you tagging me in something that will also be tagged with Miguel, I'm like, Miguel and I feel will be fast friends. Don't you just feel? I'm like, I feel like we'll be talking. I'm like,
you two do have kind of a similar energy. And
you guys remind me of each other.
Exactly. I feel like we'll be out like, oh, brother. You know, we'll be like long lost siblings. Yeah.
Incredible. I think I would make a soup. I think I would take Adrian Cheatham's idea, but do it dessert. I would make like a brandy snap tweel, like really thin, lacy cookie.
What's a tweel? What's a tweel?
A tweel is just kind of like a hard cookie, like accoutrement kind of thing. I think they're usually curled, and brandy snaps are usually curled. I would try to make mine just like straight up flat, like a lacy cookie. And underneath, I would have like a really fucking ice cold, like buttermilk ice cream with like pistachios and pomegranate like syrup underneath that brandy snap. I think that sounds sexy to me. Something revealed under the lace.
I will say someone had pomegranate seeds in theirs, and I was like, that is sexual. The seeds are, there's something very sexual about a pomegranate seed.
Yes.
I agree with that. I say, since Reiko went, I'll go. I would say that I would do, okay, this is a crazy way to start this, but do you know have you ever seen those lick mats for dogs, where it's like a mat that you put on the ground and you put peanut butter on it?
Yeah, I use it all the time with all my peanut butter.
Your peanut butter. I feel like I would do something like that. I would put like on a table, I would put like mats that had different like flavors that when you like dragged your tongue through the flavors, like on a plate.
Okay, drag your tongue.
Thank you. And I think I would blindfold you so you wouldn't know which one you were getting, and you wouldn't know which would hit you first. And I would have it be very like, some creamy, maybe a dessert, like and I'm not a big white chocolate fan, but I might even do like a white chocolate with like a Szechuan peppercorn, or like a dark chocolate with a Szechuan peppercorn, like nice. Something that's a little like different. And you would have to have a partner, and you would be blindfolded, and your partner would like either hold back your hair or hold your hands behind your back.
If you're consensual, grab your butt a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
I can't, you know what, Jordan, you're saying this and I'm going, how did no one use blindfolds? Blindfolds should have been. Blindfolds with any of those desserts would have elevated the whole experience.
Or like handcuffs behind the back. Exactly. Eat it like those little ducks into
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay, great. So what we end up with is a lot of stuff that, as we've said, sounds pretty disgusting to me. So we get like, of these dishes, I'll kind of list them out here if that's cool, Jordan.
Sure.
We've got like Miguel makes tarts and tits, which is some sort of like, I didn't catch what was in his tart, but he finished it with a shot of hot chocolate with cayenne, and also had like strawberries and something called an Asian pillow, which made me want.
I forgot about that.
And it was filled with I didn't write down, like jasmine.
It was like cream or something.
Yeah, something we kept describing as exotic,
which made me sick. And so that all looked and sounded disgusting. As you pointed out, Jordan pointed out last week, like, Top Chef is an opportunity to describe your food to some of the highest ranking, highest caliber chefs in the country. You can use any words you want to say what you want about this food. And these people are choosing very disgusting words. Like last week, someone described their food as succulent and makes a soft landing or sturdy landing in your stomach, which was horrible. And I feel like they're doing the same thing. An Asian pillow, I'm like, that sounds like To me, and when I hear Asian pillow, I think of like when my parents immigrated here, they bought all the bedding we have from Sears or JCPenney, and that's all we still use. And it's nasty, and I use it now. And they gave it to me and unto me as well. That's what I think of. And I'm like,
it's also just so weird. It's like Asian pillow. It's kind of like, what is even the correlation? Like,
what is that?
What is that? Like, it's, yeah.
And that's what made me think. I'm like, ew, is he saying something about Asians? I'm like, only Asian people can say that. You're disgusting. Please stop. Okay, bye, Miguel.
Asian women on the show. It's like,
I know.
Oh,
we don't know it yet, but there's going to be an Asian host. Get out of here, Miguel. Okay, so that's what Miguel makes. Andrew makes creamy balls and crunchy nuts.
It's like, oh my God.
And then she talks, as we said, about how proteinaceous it is.
That honestly makes me go, oh no, sex is disgusting. That makes me too aware of what sex is. And I go, oh, no, I don't want that. Yeah.
Say, oh, sex is crunchy? Never mind.
Sex is crunchy. That's crunching nuts. Oh no.
Oh my God. Dave makes a roasted strawberry pound cake with a banana cream and royal icing for a hard nip. None of that sounds good to me. And then the appearance of it was even more like strawberry pound cake sounds good to me. Strawberry with banana cream, I'm like, okay, fine. Hard nip, royal icing. I'm like, shut up. And then it looked like salmon sashimi on top of like a polenta cake or something.
It did.
It looked really flesh color. It was really nasty. Cynthia made it's a lot of people also making stuff that's like not related. She tried to make this chocolate bomb, which is definitely hard. You see people on Great British Bake Off fuck that up a lot.
Totally.
And she made Moroccan tartlets with it, which I'm like, why are you making two different things? That's crazy. I do like that she's like, I don't have to say it, make it sexy. If I'm making it, it's sexy. I was like, oh yes.
Yes,
totally.
What else? Steven made what I thought sounded horrible. A celery Granny Smith apple gelée with champagne, pomegranate, and rose petals. Please sound off in the comments if you think that sounds good. What sounds gross about? I'm curious what you guys think sounds gross about that.
I mean, to lead with celery and follow it up by gelée, it's like, no, you didn't save that. It's like, no. And also he was kind of like, he describes this disgusting thing and then he's like, who doesn't love champagne? Am I right, brother? And I'm like, what? Oh, God.
Yeah, because, okay. Yeah, Jordan, what were you going to say?
Just truly the same sentiment. I mean, I think we all know what sounds so disgusting about it, is that it's like, yes, celery and apple, okay, but like a gelée, and then also for it to be like the sexy challenge. I'm like, this, I mean, sure, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't shock me that this is the sexiest thing that Steven can think of.
So true,
it's not particularly sexy that he's like, oh, I'll make a gelée, something expensive that has no substance and is not particularly appealing. Just like Steven.
To me, because like celery isn't like an allium, right? But it to me, it lives in that same family as like leeks and onion. Like I use it in the same stuff.
Exactly.
Soups and the like. It's very crisp. And in a dessert, I'll eat whatever dessert. I don't care. And I fucking love vegetables. Your poll was fruit v vegetables. I'm all veg all day. But like, Alyssa is exactly correct. To lead with celery is disgusting. To follow it up, to me, I'm like, you better. The reason celery and peanut butter go well together, because it's something like light, crisp, and a little like herby with something like fatty and rich.
Yes,
absolutely. Follow celery with Granny Smith apple. The apple you coat with sugar and cinnamon to make pie.
The acidity of it all too. I was like, oh God.
I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get heartburn.
That's what I felt.
To top it with champagne to make it even more liquidy and fizzy, and then top it with rose petals to make it smell like flowers. I was like, Steven, you are twisted. This is disgusting.
Yeah, Faye is like a huge part of celery is the like snappy, stringy texture. So
yes.
to make this gelée, it's like so.
It's so like cellulose. Like how do you? Oh, it's disgusting. So that his desserts are like ass. I can't believe he ended up in the top 3. Lisa makes naughty nuts in her cowl neck. Oh, fucking love it. Because they were also told, which I thought was unhinged, to dress sexy.
Agreed. Like that would not fly now either. Like that felt very. And this woman, she was so sweet. She really looked like just a Christmas party, like hosting a Christmas party in her little nicest sweater.
Well, I think it's sexy. It shows my collarbone. It's so sweet.
Totally.
And then Miguel shows
like I would try on it. Ann Taylor Loft when I was 13. My mom would be like, I don't know.
I don't know. Too revealing, Alyssa.
Oh, you'll wear something under that, right?
You wear a full shirt under it. Miguel went shirtless, wore a tiny tie. I'm like, this is not sanitary. He's got like a lot of chest hair. This to me seems really weird. Whatever.
Again, he wore like a weird hat wig, right? Am I making that up, or was
he
that
wore like a Scottish
golf hat.
Yes.
That had hair.
Red.
I thought he was supposed to look like Fat Bastard or something. Like I couldn't piece what the theme of it was.
That is exactly what it felt like, Reka.
I literally thought that was supposed to be what I saw, and he would do like a. I can't do a Fat Bastard. Okay, so Lisa makes like a pecan tart with a Grand Marnier cream, which sounded good. The cream melted, but okay. Candace made edible underwear that was decorated with strawberry and pineapple and layers of white chocolate ganache and chocolate ganache. That sounded horrible to me. That's way too sweet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jordan, you like sweet. What did you
think? I do like sweet. I thought that this looked good and was fun. She's like, what, 19 years old or whatever in this episode? And I'm just like,
I agree. It did look like the one thing where I was like, texture-wise, I'm comfortable eating that. It just looks like a cook. It looks the most normal. And it's
yeah. I think it just sounded
too elevated at all, but it looked it looked edible.
It looked edible. I think white chocolate ganache for me plus whatever sweet cake plus pineapple, which is one of the sweetest fruits I can think of, sounds like too sweet for me.
Sure.
So I'm a pass on that. What else? Okay, we've got, Tiffany. She makes these chocolate coffee cookies that she sandwiches around a necklace so people can eat it off of each other. That's pretty cool. Brian makes a strawberry apple crisp with hazelnut whipped cream and like an edgy cookie.
Hazelnut whipped cream. I'm like, you should have led with like, that's like sexual. Let's do more with that. That's the other part. It's kind of like, now we're just,
Exactly. Yes. And then Harold makes this almond tartlet with like a frozen buttermilk. And you know, I agree with you guys. All these desserts looked pretty disgusting.
It was wildly underwhelming.
I would say like Harold sounded pretty tasty to me. I'm surprised he didn't make it. Obviously, I can't
remind me what was his again? The ice cream, but what else?
Yeah, it was almond tartlet with frozen buttermilk, like a frozen buttermilk ice cream.
Almond tartlet was
I just wanted to send one little quote into the air, which is Madam S saying, "This is a party with me and my 50 sexiest friends," or it's like Madam S's party and 50 of her sexiest friends, which sounded just like to have a list of your sexiest friends.
To have 50 friends, period. To have 50 sexy friends, I'm like, oh my God.
Well,
that's how Rake and I are booking the show. We've reached out to our 50 sexy friends.
Yeah, this is Madam S and my 50 sexiest friends. So in the end, at Judge's table, Madam S chooses the top three, which was Brian, who made this like, you know.
I felt the fact that there were three men too, something to talk about.
Okay, and that the men included Steven is definitely something to talk about. She also calls him handsome.
Yeah.
She calls him handsome.
Yes.
Which was
Brian was hot too.
Yes. To me, saying Steven is like an alien. He's like he looks like a gecko or something. And I don't mean to be mean. It's just, if his personality was good, I would not say that. And I hope you guys know that. He just like, his vibe is so gross to me. It's hard for me to think he's hot.
You know what though? That's the cool part of getting older, because I feel the same way. I'm like, I feel like when I was like 18, it didn't matter. I would just look at someone and be like, oh, they're so hot. Then you get older and you're like, oh, once you know someone, you're like, oh, you immediately, I lose it. Like people lose attractiveness so quickly in my, like, once I hit my like late 20s, it was just like, oh no, I know you. I don't want to deal with you. Like, I can't even see you anymore as a person because I'm just seeing your personality.
I agree. Miguel ends up winning. Crazy. It's just an unhinged, weird episode. And Andrea, whose dessert again was nuts and chocolate. She also described her dessert. She's like, I thought my dessert was really strong. It was a pure natural, which I was like,
that's what? It. She just did not get it. She didn't get it. Yeah.
A pure, that sounds like really gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely all of her food, I was like, you're clearly just not right for this. Because it's like, yeah, I get it. You're like a healthy, it felt like, yeah, it was like, yeah, you can't go on this show if you're not going to use,
I just think like healthy cooking, that to me is the misconception with healthy cooking, that it all tastes like shit. I think Carla Hall in a later season is a really good example of a healthy chef that cooked really delicious food. She just manipulates the recipes like, oh, I don't have butter, let me add this fat, like an avocado or whatever, that makes it rich. You can totally do it. But like, she's sort of not doing that. She goes home. And that ends our episode. Wow.
We did it.
We did it.
Wow. Requesting more Andrea impressions. Okay, let's see. So she goes, you know what? I'm telling you, I'm happy I got kicked off because I know how to cook and I got my knives and I'm gonna put them right in my down jacket. They're gonna slice right through it, but that doesn't matter because I love my knives and I love my jacket. And I'm happy that they kicked me off. And I love my chocolate. There was no chocolate in it. It was made exclusively of raisins. Very helpful. Thank you. Bye.
You know, you can say nothing about my dessert, but Mike Tyson eats my dessert before he goes into a fight. So, absolutely incredible, Alyssa. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Just to sign off, we like to ask our guests.
Oh my God, my mom. Hi,
Mom
Mom.
does great job.
Oh,
hi, Mrs. Limperis.
Oh, okay, wait. Mrs. Limperis, what's Alyssa's favorite meal? Please comment in the comments. And Alyssa, we were going to ask, like, what are you going to cook this week? Like, what's... Hi. The cutest thing.
Sweet mom. Tell them what my favorite food is. I think, and I'll tell you, well, yeah, I know what it is. So I bet we'll guess the same thing. So what am I going to cook? I've already told this to maybe some of you in our tech phase when we were trying to figure out, I love Szechuan food. It's Greek veggie stew. She's right. That's my favorite, Mom. That's what I was going to say. Greek veggie stew. Yep. My mom makes it. It's so good. I might make some of that. It's just so hot this week that it's been hard to motivate to cook anything in the oven. But I think I'll be ordering some food from Szechuan Impression. It's my favorite Szechuan food restaurant. If you're in LA, you got to get it. I just sometimes really crave, I'm not good at making very oily food, like fat heavy food. I'm a vegetarian, I'm like a vegan. So I feel like it's sometimes hard to make it on my own. So I feel like when I make stuff, it's just so dry. And then when I order out, I'm like, oh, food can be so delicious. So I'm not really good at incorporating good, it's hard. Yeah, anyway, all this to say, I'm excited to get Szechuan Impression and never cook anything.
Perfect. We love that. Mrs. Limperis, does you like French fries? That's beautiful. Jordan, are you going to cook anything? Are you excited about any meal you've made? Or
I want to eat anything Jordan makes. Your food looks so amazing all the time. You do a good job, I feel, of making vegetarian food that looks really like it would fill me up.
Yes.
Wow, that's very nice. Yes, I like to cook hearty. I'm hearty. I'm tall and I'm sturdy and I need a hearty meal. So that's important to me. What am I going to make? Oh, I'm going to try to make jackfruit crab cakes, and I'm going to make them into sandwiches with a dill mayonnaise. So that's what's on the agenda for me tomorrow.
And I will say, just a little plug for those who are not into cooking but like that idea, Trader Joe's has excellent jackfruit crab cakes in the frozen section. They're really good. Yep, they're a nice summery treat.
That's incredible. Great.
Rika, what about you? Do you have a nice like German chocolate vegan cake in your future? I feel like you always have some nice
Okay, so I have been using Carla Hall's soul food cooking book, which if you love eating vegetables but you're an omnivore, is a great cookbook. I'm vegan as well, and I cook I've been cooking the shit out of that book. It's got so many vegan recipes. Also, Black Girl Baking does a lot of baked goods, and she translates all of them to be vegan if you want, which is incredible. So I think I'm gonna try. I might try to do like chilled soups. Jordan and I are obsessed with corn, and I might want to get some corn and make a corn chilled soup this week.
Yum.
Yes.
Yum.
Yes.
Corn season.
Corn season. Alyssa, you are top chef.
No.
Yes, you are. Absolutely.
Wow. Oh my God. Well, I am humbled, of course, because I think I will hold the record for the least amount of questions answered in the in the fast round. But I look forward to hopefully meeting Miguel in the comments. Miguel, let's make and you guys are so great. Everyone in the comments, we had so much fun. This was the best.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Just a reminder, there will be 24 hours from now to Venmo me to donate to the Lebanese food bank to help after the explosion in Beirut. We raised $110 last week for Planting Justice, which was absolutely awesome. So we would love to try to get in those numbers for
guys,
this.
listen to me. I lost a big part of this. Like I humiliated myself in the first round. Don't make me lose to also donating less money. We got to donate more money than last week because I can't lose on both accounts. I'm top chef. I can't.
Yeah, please don't let Alyssa down. She's top chef and she's trying to raise money out here. So for Alyssa, for Beirut, for Lebanon, please Venmo Jordan whatever you can, and we will donate it straight to the Lebanese Food Bank.
Yes, even $1 helps.
Yes. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Come on over next week. We'll be watching season 1, episode 3. We're chugging right along.
Yeah. Thanks again for having me. This was so fun.
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye. Team Harold.